all. Oh, well, that looks a bit funny. How's that? How are we all out there? I'm here on a survey. I've got myself. Oh, isn't a good start, is it? Welcome back to my channel. I'm here every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. If you'd like to join my Patreon at patreon.com/Jess Rose 5472. I've got a whole new setup at the minute, so I'm just trying to get used to it, and I'm all frazzled. So my fans out. I'm afraid the fans out. Hey sis, how are you? Oh, I've got a new setup, and it's all gone pear. So I'm all hot and bothered. How are we all? Right. Just to let you all know. Hey Hayley, how you doing? Just to let you all know, like I say, I'm here on a Tuesday and a Thursday at 8 p.m. If you'd like to join my Patreon at patreon.com/Jess Rose 4472. My format is I will have a little chat with the guys in the live. Then I'll start the story. Once I've started, I don't stop, I don't interrupt. So if you're worried that I'm going to be doing a back and forth, that's not how I do it. I'd just get on with the story. And then I have a quick chat with the guys in the live at the end. So all I'm going to do, I'm just going to have a quick chat with the guys. Wait for a few more to join us, especially the girl whose story I'm doing this evening, or request, should I say. And then we'll start. So let me just see who's on. Let's have a look. Hi Mum, how you doing? Hey Hayley, I've said hello, haven't I? Hey Tiff. Is anyone else? Have I missed anyone else while I was rabbling? There you go. How we doing? Can you hear me okay? Oh, I've got to make sure that echo isn't on. Do you know, for the first 10 minutes of my story last week, it was just pure echo. I'd had it on for ages. Do you remember I spotted it halfway through? But do you like my setup? You can't see, can you? But I've got a whole new setup behind. Yeah, you can hear me. It's like, it's from the TikTok shop. I got one from the TikTok shop, so it's a whole new thing. So I got myself all frazzled with it. So the fans out. Hi Kelly. Yes, I was waiting for you because it's yours. Kelly, this is your one that you've requested, isn't it? I said it earlier and then I was like, please tell me Kelly requested this. This is yours, isn't it? Otherwise, I don't know whose it is and I'm just doing a request and I don't know whose it is. So, but I have, do you like my fan? My daughter made it for me. Well, she bought it and then made lots of little patterns that you can't quite see on there. But yes, because I get frazzled. So she was like, it's for when you're doing your live, Mum. So I thought that was very sweet. John Benet Ramsey, that's right, yes. Well, I've got this one for you. Then I've got one for Hayley next week, which is the Judith Barcy, the little girl. And then I will do the John Benet Ramsey the week after. If that's okay. I don't think I'm bumping anyone else. So I think that's the order. That's the order I've got. But, yeah. Look what I'm having to do. Can you hear it really loud on camera as well? I've got to stop. But it's just going to start again in a second. So did we all have a good weekend anyway? Are we all okay out there? You requested, what did you, oh, you're not having any. You're done. You can't have any more stories. You no more. Actually, while we're on the subject, okay, for the people in the live, and if you're watching tomorrow, I'd recently done a part 1 and part 2 for Gypsy Rose, on the, I forgot her surname. Blanchard. Oh my God. Brain block there. Gypsy Rose Blanchard story. I'd done a part 1 and a part 2. But I'd actually had a subscriber come in and basically she's got a completely different view of the story itself, and of Gypsy Rose herself. I don't know. But she had a completely different view. So she'd asked me to go away and have a look at some places that she'd obviously got information from. Now, I did let her know that given the fact that I've got a few requests coming up, I also like to bring my own stories on a Thursday. I haven't got time. I spent a lot of time researching the Gypsy the Gypsy Rose story, and that as far as I know, everything I brought, part one and part two, was I'd found various sources. I don't just go by one or two sources. I go to various. Now, this girl has got a very oh, hi Jilly, how you doing? This girl's got a very, very different opinion about the Gypsy Rose story, and like I say, I'm not going to argue it, but what I did say is I would mention a creator called Becca Scoops. Now, she spelt it Becca. Becca Scoops, Scoops, that I said I would mention tonight on the channel. So if anyone watching wants to go away and go and have a look, and there's obviously a very, very different point of view with regards to Gypsy herself, her mum Dee Dee, Nicholas, etc. If you want to go away and have a look, that's obviously perfectly fine. I haven't looked myself, as I've said. I did spend a long time on the story, and I am looking and researching other stories as it stands at the moment. So if you do want to go away and have another look at another point of view, knock yourselves out. But I did say I would do that for her. So there we go. That's that. Where are the two men? Well, Phil's off, but I don't know where Warwick is. I don't know where, but oh, there he is. He come flying in right at the right time there. Look at him. Where's Jilly? Oh, yeah. Hi, Jilly. I'm glad you could make it tonight. I don't know if you've said you haven't made it before. So what I do, I have a quick chat with the guys in the lives as I'm doing. Then I'll start the story. I don't interrupt. Well, I try not to. Try my best, and then I'll come back and have a little chat at the end. Hi, how you doing? How are you? Did you have a good weekend? Do you know? Isn't that terrible? I was coming. Jerome, I'm sorry. Blame Warwick. I was about to call you something else then. I've got a different name in my head for you. That's why I just stopped and just said hello, because I knew the name I've got in my head for you isn't your name. So, hi Jerome, how are you? Did you have a good weekend? So, yeah. So I hope you did. But I'm a bit frazzled because I'm looking at my new setup, and I know you can't see it, but I've got messages coming through. I didn't put on Do Not Disturb. I hate it when I do that. I'm already slapping myself. Oh, you can't see Mick. Should we bring Mick into frame? No, it's Patrice. Patrice. That's what I was thinking of, Patrice. And I knew that wasn't it. So I'm going to kill him. I'm good, thank you, Jerome. I'm very well, thank you. I was just saying, I've got a new setup, so I'm just trying to bring Mick in. Because Mick likes to be part of the equation. But he's really in my way. I'm going to bring him over here. Oh, you can really see Mick there. He's really loud and proud there, isn't he? Well, at least you can see him now, but he's closer to me, so I'm going to be louder, I'm afraid. I'll try and bring it down. But, right, I've calmed down now. I can't lie that I might have to bring my fan back out at some point, but I might be okay for a bit. There we go. No, it's not. It just looks that way. It's the perception. It's really not. It's just the perception. Does anyone know this story? Kelly's request this evening. Me and Tiffany, I don't know if she remembers because we know her memory, but me and Tiffany actually watched the Lifetime film based on this. Based on this. God, it's got to be about 20 years ago. I'll tell you the name of that film at the end. It's got Farrah Fawcett in it. Very, very good film. But that's where I very, very first heard about this case. And I've followed it kind of on and off ever since. So when it was requested, I was like, yes, I don't mind this one. I'm going to do this one. I know you can't. Do you not remember True Movies? Do you not remember? We used to spend weekends watching it. Because we were rock and rollers back then. It was so sad. I probably shouldn't say it was 20 years ago because it's like, weren't you going out? Living off? Do you not remember? Oh my God. Well, we did. That's what we used to do. So, oh, here she is. But like that, you says that last week and then disappeared. By the end, I was like, has she gone? She got like at the very end because I knew I hadn't seen you. Right, okay. Yes, you are better late than never because I'm about to start. This one. Can you hear my fan? Is it loud? Because I obviously can't do it during the story if you can hear it. I don't know if the mic's picking it up. Oh look, I look like Celine Dion. Look. Do I look like a star? I look like Celine Dion. Look, no. I've seen a really good movie on Netflix. I love Scarespace. Oh, okay. I might have a look at that, Jerome. Haven't seen that. Might have a look. I got to admit, I kind of fell out with Netflix a little bit. But I'll have a look. I did fall out with Netflix a little bit. It was just the same stuff all the time. It's doing me head in. But I have still got it. I am still paying the subscription. So I will go in and have a look. But, right, okay. If you're all ready. Oh, is it really loud? Is it? Oh, well, that's that idea gone. Yes, I'll definitely have a look. I'll have a look, Jerome. Oh, I'm gutted about that. I was hoping you wouldn't hear it. Okay, all right, I'm just going to have to... Mind you, I should calm down. It's just at the beginning. I get myself all rolled up. Okay, so I am going to start. If you're watching tomorrow, I'm going to start right now. Okay, the infuriating story of Diane Downs. If you noticed, I've switched the title slightly. So, you can kind of tell where this is going. So, it is Kelly's request. So, let's begin. All right. So, Elizabeth Diane Fredrickson. She was born on the 7th of August 1955 in Arizona. To her mum, Willardine, and her dad, Wes, obviously Fredrickson. Now, Diane was the eldest of four. She had two brothers and one sister. Now, it says that her mum didn't show the children much love. The mum, basically, given the time frame as well, it was the 50s. The mum gave the majority of her attention to Wes, obviously Diane's dad. Her name's Elizabeth Diane Fredrickson, but obviously we know she goes as Diane, so that's why you're hearing me say that. And I will refer to her as Diane from now on. So, yeah, it was said that she gave the majority, Willardine, Diane's mum, gave the majority of the love to Wes, Diane's dad. So the four children didn't really get a lot of their mum's attention. Now, the dad, Wes, I am going to say this. I am going to say it purely because I have found this information on a few sources. Although I don't know how 100% true it is. Casey Anthony has left me very burnt from saying things like these. Not that I said it as truth with her either, it's just she made me very suspicious over these sort of circumstances, but I'm going to tell you, and at least it's out there, and if it does come back as no, that wasn't true in the future, then obviously I'll mention it another time, but I'm just throwing that out there, okay? What it says about Wes Fredrickson, Diane's dad, is that when Diane got to about 11, 12-ish, he started paying special attention to her, let's say. And that attention she'd wanted all her life, especially more from her mum. She started to get it from her dad, and it wasn't the kind of attention she would have wanted, okay? Now it says that he did, about this time, started abusing her. And he was a very strict man anyway. He was a very strict disciplinarian with the kids. And he used to take Diane out for drives. And on one of these drives, he'd ordered her to take her top off while he was driving. And they ended up, because she tried to stand up for herself, it was said. Tried to stand up for herself, so it was said. A police car had noticed the car veering, and the police pulled them over. And when the policeman came over and obviously opened the car door, he could see Diane was fastly trying to do her shirt back up. So he asked Wes to get out of the car with him. Now, Diane says she never heard what the policeman said to her dad. And this is what makes me think it could possibly be true, because she said she didn't hear what he says to him, but he never touched her again after that. That's what's been said. So, like I say, that's what makes me feel like it was more real. Because I think if she'd have been doing it for attention at the time with regard to the story, would she have kept it going a bit longer? I don't know. So that's what makes me think there's probably truth behind it. Okay? So this was in 1968 when the police pulled them over. So she was around 13 by this point. So it was going on for probably a couple of years up to that point. Now, Diane herself, very good at school. We said very, very intelligent girl. Got straight A's. It says that if she'd get home and there was no homework, her dad would make her read the dictionary. He looks like a very strict disciplinarian anyway. And yeah, she was just, she'd do very, very good at school and very charismatic, let's say, Diane. Now, at around age 15, she meets Steve Downs. So we know her name is Diane Downs, okay? So, she met Steve Downs and they were the same age at the same school, all right? Now, they separated for a little while in their senior year while Steve went off to join the military. But that's very sketchy as well, because he must have came back very quickly. And I say this because he came back and they married on the 13th of November 1973 when they were both aged 18. So it's got to have been a very, very quick experience, whatever was going on, whether it was, I don't know, could it have been, we have a TA, you know, like a territorial army? I don't know. But that's what the information says. Don't forget, we're going back quite a long time, so that could be why it's a little bit sketchy. But they do get married on the 13th of November 1973, okay? He said they were very much in love. They were, very close, got on very well. Love's young dream, basically. All right. But what Diane says is that as soon as they got married, now let me just tell you the reason I believe they got married so quickly is she was round at Steve's house and she'd stopped over. And apparently Wes, her dad, turned up on the doorstep with a shotgun and says, basically, she comes home with us and never sees you again or you marry her. And so he married her. So all very, very, very quick, okay? So what Diane says is that after they were married, he wasn't as attentive anymore. I think they were both 18 years old. It's just crazy to me to think of being married at that age. But apparently he wasn't as attentive, and attention meant everything to Diane. I don't know, does it go back to her mum and not getting the attention off her, getting the wrong attention off her dad? I don't know, but attention seemed to be in the everything that made up Diane. If in the centre of it all is attention. You'll see what I mean in a minute, but that seems to be a real basis for her personality. That's her. She needs attention, okay? So on the 7th of October 1974, age 19, don't forget they're both the same age, a little girl called Christy is born to the couple, okay? Now, Steve didn't want children yet. He'd made that very clear. He did not want children at all so young. He wanted to pursue a career, get them all settled and everything else before they brought kids into the equation. All right. But what Diane says was, I wasn't allowed to get pregnant. He wouldn't allow me to, but I got pregnant anyway. So basically her justification for doing this was, well, he wasn't giving me any attention and love, so I wanted to get love from a child that I knew would love me unconditionally, basically. So that's what she went and did. Okay, but then it would seem that after the pregnancy and maybe the first few months of having a baby, it seems that's when Diane would get bored. She'd get bored then. So she decided she wanted to join the Air Force. She's got a newborn baby at home, but she wants to join the Air Force. And off she toddles. And she was only there about 3 weeks. Some stories say that he reported her, saying she's left a newborn baby at home. He being Steve, her husband. Basically saying, look, she's left me and a baby at home, send her back now. Other reports say it was because she couldn't basically hack it and she was very badly blistered from, I presume, the intensive training at the beginning. So that's a bit sketchy as well, but those are the two things that have been said with regards to her career in the Air Force that, like I say, lasted 3 weeks. So then we get to the 10th of January 1976. We're only going 13 months after Christy. And they have another little girl called Cheryl. Okay. Straight after that, Steve goes and gets a vasectomy. He doesn't want any more children. He wants a career. He wants to create a nice family life for them. It said that he was actually spotted by a modelling agency to do an ad for Gillette. And it's very unfortunate, actually. As he's getting very excited and thinking this could be a new career path for him, he was working under a car at the time, and the car burst into flames. And the ad agency wouldn't wait for the burns to clear. So that was the beginning and the end of his modelling career. It was all over very quickly. So He went and had a vasectomy. Steve did, but with a vasectomy, which I didn't know until I started researching this story, is that after the procedure, you're supposed to go back, I don't know, after about a month or so, and just make sure that your sperm count's 0, I presume, or very minute. I don't know, is it supposed to be 0? Okay. And he didn't go back. So Diane gets pregnant again really quickly after. So of course, in his mind, he's had this vasectomy, and he presumes she's had an affair, but she hadn't at this point. And she said, "You didn't go back to get checked. I swear this is your baby." No, you're messing about. I mean, everything else. So even though he does go back to the doctors, he does get checked, and the procedure didn't take at all. So this is his baby. Diane says that she didn't feel she had the support from him, so she went through with a termination of that pregnancy, okay, and that baby, all right? So that was that baby, but after having that termination, she decided, I want another baby. I want another one. How it comes across to me while looking at this story, it just seems that, it, again, like I said at the beginning, it's about the attention, and the attention that being pregnant gets her. You know, obviously everyone asking after and everything else. And even all the attention it gets her, and even I've been thrown off. Even like the first couple of weeks after the baby's born, but it seems after that she kind of loses interest. She's not really interested anymore, because it's not about her anymore. It's about the baby then. And it's like she can't quite hack that. She needs it to all be about her. So she wants to get pregnant again. Now, Steve refuses to get the vasectomy reversed. He doesn't want any more children. He refuses outright. So we find out what she actually does is she waits until she knows she's ovulating, and she basically hunts down the perfect sperm donor. And it's a 19-year-old lad called Russ, okay? And she says, yes, he was good looking. He looked like he had good genes. Didn't look like there was any health problems. I'm like, did you ask him? Anyway, so when she's ovulating, she admits she seduced this lad, and she gets pregnant first time, okay? Now, at this point, her and Steve had been working at a mobile home company. Now, she's pregnant. He must know it's not his. He has to know it's not his. But they're working at the same place. But because she is starting to get heavier with the new baby, she decides to take a job, like a desk job, at the post office. Okay, working for the post office. Is that good? I know in America it classes as a government job. Is it a government job here as well? I presume it is. Oh God, that was a really stupid question. Anyway, 26th of December 1979, Danny's born. Okay, Diane and Steve at this point are about 24, but they give it a go for another couple of years, but they end up getting divorced in 1981. Okay, he can't get past that. Obviously, this little boy's not his child. It was said that he had wanted a son, and when Christy and Cheryl are obviously born and he's thought, I've had another girl, he even says to her while she was pregnant, don't bring back a boy, because he'd wanted a boy. And of course, what does she have? She has a little boy. And it just causes severe problems in the marriage. And they, like I say, they end up getting divorced in 1981. Then she goes through a stage of just, I don't know how to word it in the nicest possible way. But she just goes around, I don't know if I can say it, hoeing. That's what she just goes around doing. Just, she even says she like in 2 years, and she's quite proud of it. She goes, in 2 years, you know, I only slept with 20 people. Only half of them were married. Okay. So she goes through a stage of that. And then she decides she wants to be a surrogate. Because what better way? Playing the field would have been better. Yes, it would have been. But I was trying to word it. But she decides to become a surrogate. She can earn money. She was earning $10,000 to do that. She gets all the attention. And then she can just hand the baby off. Because it's all about her. And once she has the baby, it's not about her anymore. So it works out perfectly for Diane. So we get to the 7th of May 1982. She gives birth to this baby for the other couple. And surprisingly, the doctors and everything were thinking, oh God, this is going to be difficult for her. But no, she just hands the baby over. So when she returns back to work, though, okay, at the post office, she begins having an affair. Now, remember, she's had quite a few. She's been playing the field. Quite a lot. She begins having an affair with a man called Robert Knickerbocker. Okay? But he was also married. She didn't care if you were married, divorced, widowed, widower. She didn't care. She wasn't fussy. So Robert is actually, like I say, he's married. It said that he would dangle the fact that he would leave his wife every now and again. He dangled that in front of her. Then he'd pull it back. Then he'd dangle it in front of her. You know, from what I can tell, he had no intention of leaving his wife. None whatsoever. This guy didn't. Okay. In 1983, she moves to Oregon with the kids to be close to her parents while still continuing this affair with Robert in Arizona. Now, he had originally says, oh, don't worry, move to Oregon, go and move near your family. I'll follow you there. He doesn't. No intention of it whatsoever. All right? But she starts to become obsessed. I don't know if it's because Diane was used to maybe getting her own way with men to a degree. But this guy wasn't. He had no intention of leaving his wife whatsoever. He obviously seen it as, I hate the same, but a bit of fun at work, then go home to his wife. You know, it wasn't she a lucky girl too. But when Diane moved, she started to become really obsessed with this man. Really obsessed with him. She started sending him like love letters. She'd write to him every single day. Letters upon letters upon letters confessing her love for him, and she can't wait until they can be together and the whole 9 yards. But after around 6 months, Robert told her outright, he says, I'm not going to leave my wife. And more to the point, I don't want kids. And I don't want yours. I don't want kids. And that's why I'm not going to leave my wife. So what Diane heard was, oh, it's because of my kids. He doesn't want me. Not that it's you and you're a crazy cuckoo bird, but it's because you've got kids. That's what she heard. Okay, so now we get to the 19th of May 1983. All right. Now, Diane and her three kids, Christy, Cheryl and Danny, they'd been over to see a friend of hers, like a few miles away. And on the drive home, they're on the way back. It's about 9:30 at night. And she decides to take them sightseeing. Okay. And on the drive, as they're coming back and winding down these roads, Diane notices a hitchhiker. All right. This hitchhiker's on the side of the road. So Diane, even though she's got three kids in the car, it's 9:30 at night, it's dark, she pulls over and she gets out of the car. Okay. And when she gets out, she takes the keys out with her. And she asks the guy, look, what are you doing? And he just turned around and he says, I want your car. And she kind of scoffs at him and she's like, what are you talking about? You're not having my car. And she says that he then pulled out a gun and began shooting in the back seat of her car. Now, who's in the back seat of the car? It's her three children. Okay. She says then what she did was, remember, she's got the keys in her hand because she took them out of the car when she got out to see what this guy's doing, to see if he was okay. So she pretends to throw the keys. And as she does that, she says she felt a gunshot go through her arm. So he must have been going to shoot as she's gone to pretend to throw her keys. And then as he turns to go and get these keys, she runs back round, jumps in the front seat and flies straight to the hospital. Okay. Now, when she gets to the hospital, she runs straight in. She's got her arm bandaged up in a towel she'd found in the car. Okay. She runs straight in. The doctors come running out to get her kids out of the car. Now, 7-year-old Cheryl, middle daughter, she's pronounced dead on arrival. Okay. She's pronounced dead on arrival from the gunshot wounds to her chest. Okay. Danny, who was 3 at this time, and Christy, who's 8, both of them also brought in and are fighting for their lives in the hospital. Now, the police, of course, turn up straight away because this is, there's this madman out on the road killing children. And Diane, who'd had her arm now bandaged up, she starts to give her version of account, her version of what had happened to the police. And very early on, they're sort of looking, they're like, what's going on? And she calls him the bushy-haired stranger. That's what she calls the madman on the road. Okay. So they put out the details and the description of this madman, and the police are out on the streets and they're, stopping cars and they're up and down that particular stretch of road and they're trying to look to see if they can find the weapon, which is now a murder weapon. They can't find anything, but more to the point, the police are like, something a bit odd about this. Why did he shoot the kids and she only got shot in her arm? Why was she sightseeing at 9:30 at night in the dark? Why did she manage to bandage her own arm on the drive to the hospital, but she didn't manage to bandage any of her children who were in the back of the car dying? All of these questions are, the police are looking and the detective's looking. He's like, I don't know about this. It doesn't sound right to me. Then while they're talking to her, she confirms, like, I've never had a gun. I wouldn't know how to use a gun. I don't know anything about guns. Because, of course, they were asking, do you know what kind of gun it was? Oh, I don't know. I don't know anything about guns. Well, they also bring Steve in, the kid's dad. Obviously not Danny's dad, but, the girl's dad brings him in and they're talking to him. And him, I don't even think he was trying to trip her up, but he lets the information go that she has got a gun. Yes, she has. And she knows very well how to use it. And when they ask what gun has she got, it's a 22 caliber pistol, which when they've seen the gunshot wounds in all the children and her own arm, it has been done by a 22 caliber pistol. So it's the same gun that was done in the shooting that she apparently owns. Okay? Now, what they also start to notice on the car, she's obviously driven the car into the yard. They take the car away and they start looking at the car. They notice that there's blood spatter on the car. Not inside though, remember, the car was apparently closed. He was shooting through the window. There's blood spatter on the outside of the car. Now you can see it online. And it's on the trim of the car. And Diane was like, no, that was when they were taking Cheryl out. They were taking her out and it's blood droplets. It's droplets from where they carried her out. No. The pattern of it. I don't know anything about this stuff, and even I can say this isn't a pattern of droplets. This is spatter. That's what this is. So that's spotted on the outside of the car when they check who the blood belongs to. It belongs to Cheryl. Okay. So now I can tell you what the police believed happened the night of this attack and murder of a very young girl, of a child. Okay. Police believed that what actually happened was Diane got out of the car. Okay. She opened the boot, got her 22 caliber pistol out of the boot. She then comes round the back of the car, and who's coming out of the car is Cheryl, the 7-year-old daughter. She got out of the car to see what her mum's doing, and it was Cheryl she shot at first. Yeah, Mummy Dearest shot at her. Cheryl jumps back into the car, okay, because as what we know is Cheryl was shot twice, okay, and then she opened, because the door's open, Danny kind of turns. Danny's 3 years old. He's 3. He's a baby. He sort of turns and she shoots him right in his back, his spine. Okay. Then Cheryl moves. She shoots her again. And that's what killed her. That's what killed her. She actually choked on the blood in her lungs. She drowned from the blood in her lungs. And then Christy, 8 years old, who just watched all of this happen, she then turns the gun on her. And the kids in the hospital, Christy and Danny, who are, they were critical, but they start to pull through. Danny, though, is paralysed from the waist down. She shot him in his spine. He was 3 years old. And Christy ended up having a stroke when she got into the hospital, which affected her speech and all her left side. So even though the police knew that she was their only chance, really, of knowing exactly what had happened on that night. She couldn't talk. What they did notice is that every single time Diane walked into her hospital bedroom, hospital room, her heart monitor would start going 10 to the dozen and just go sky high. Every single time my mum walked into the room. And the nurses would notice this, the police would notice this. And it was just terrible. But they couldn't get the information from her because, like I say, she'd had a stroke which affected her speech. That was little Christy, okay? So what they also find is a witness comes forward. Now remember, even though they've got their own suspicions and this is what they believe has happened, they're still having to have a look out. You know, they can't be seen to be only looking at this mum, because she had a lot of sympathy from people. You know, her kids have just been, one of them's died and one's, you know, been shot in the back. The one's had a stroke. He's parallel. That, you know, there's a lot of sympathy going out to Diane at the moment. So they still had to be seen to be looking and asking questions and everything else. And a witness did come forward to say that she saw the car on the night in question. And she said, look, this woman didn't look like she was in any rush. And she said that the car that she overtook, because she had to overtake it, was going between 5 and 7 miles an hour. Now, Diane had been like, as soon as it happened, you know, I don't even really remember wrapping up my arm, but I must have. And I flew as quick as I could to get them to the ER. Look, she's the angel Gabriel, like, bringing her kids to the hospital to save them. And it says no, this car was going less than 10 miles an hour. She was in no rush. She wasn't trying to get them to the hospital in any sort of quick time to save them. So that witness had come forward. Then Diane goes on to change her story. Numerous times. One was just after a month after it happened. And then she says it was 2 men. There was 2 men that pulled over and that they were wearing masks. And then there was one, actually, he knew her and he recognised her tattoos. It was all just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Everyone knew at this point. She's just lying. She's lying through her teeth, okay? Now, she even does, now all of this you can see online, it's the most cringeworthy footage. And considering it's sort of back in the 80s, it's crazy that it was filmed and that we can still see it now. And what she's asked to do a reenactment. Now, I don't know what my reaction would be in the same circumstances if the police came to me and got, do you mind just coming out the hospital for a couple of minutes? We just want you to reenact it for us on camera. You'd have to hold my hands from throwing something. But no, she goes out. Remember, attention. It's attention again. And she goes out and she does this so-called reenactment. She goes, I threw the keys like this. And then she gets back in the car and she must have knocked her arm. And she's like, oh, God, I've just banged my... Oh, and she's laughing, by the way. And she goes, that hurt nearly as much as... And she stops and then just babbles on about something else. And the police say they believe that what she was actually going to go on to say was, that hurt nearly as much as when I shot it the first time. She does stop herself, but that's what they believe she was about to say, that she didn't finish. And it's cringeworthy. It genuinely is. It's just, after that's released, the people start to, sympathy for her starting to wane a little bit. People are starting to look at her a little bit with a side eye now. So I don't know. That's just not how you should behave. And we all know in times of crisis, everyone behaves differently to an extent. But this was so far off the charts. It's like, this woman's lying. She's lying. It was her. So the police had gone round, of course, and they checked the house, which is where they found all these diaries that she'd been written, because she likes to write everything down. We know she was sending letters to Robert, don't we, Knickerbocker, who didn't want children, and they're looking around the house and they see it's like a statue. Okay. And they look, and at the bottom, it's to Christy, Cheryl and Danny from Mum. And it was bought 9 days before, that man on the road. 9 days beforehand, the police were like, it's quite obviously a memorial to her children. It's quite obvious that's what that is. And when you look at it again, you can go away and look at it yourself. They're not wrong. They're not wrong. It's quite obvious that's what this was. 9 days beforehand as well. Oh, God. Then she gets so pregnant. Because she's still not locked up. Of course, they've got to get proof of this together. They have their feelings and their suspicions, but they can't arrest this woman just yet. So she goes out and she gets so pregnant. Just to mix it up a little bit. So then she does another interview, because what it is with that and the attention, I feel like I can't even bring myself to say that word again. But now she's in the limelight. She's there. And she knows the police are looking at her. So she goes on every news station, every talk show that she can possibly get on. And the one that I saw, okay, let's just say that what she's saying right and what the police have accused her of is wrong. Let's just say that. Watch this interview. Now, regardless of whether there was a man on the road or it was her, Cheryl still was murdered. Danny is paralysed from the waist down. And Christy still can't speak. She's had this stroke that's obviously affected her movement in her arm. She's still in a very bad way in hospital herself. And this woman goes on national television and she says, people say I'm lucky. People say that I'm lucky because I just got shot in my arm. I'm not lucky. I couldn't sorry, I've just ruined it, haven't I? I couldn't tie my shoelaces for an entire month. I'm sorry, what did you say? And she just goes, I wasn't lucky. Do you know who was lucky? My kids were the lucky ones. Say it again. My kids were the lucky ones, because if I'd have been shot anymore, I wouldn't have been able to get them to the hospital. Right? Didn't one of them died? Are you forgetting that? Just this woman. Oh, you just want to spit at the camera. You just want to. You genuinely do. You genuinely do. There's just, regardless if it was her or there was a bushy-haired stranger on the road, They're the lucky ones. I couldn't tie my shoelaces for a damn month, she said. It still hurts. Oh my God, she's just horrific. It's just horrific. We get to the 28th of February 1984. She's arrested and charged with one charge of a count of murder, 2 counts of attempted murder. Like I say, she's turned up pregnant. So when she turns up to the courthouse, she's got all these maternity dresses on, these pretty maternity dresses on. She's holding her belly. She's really trying to go for the sympathy count with the jury. That's what she's going for. It's like, look at me. Look at me. So, and when she's asked as well, why have you got pregnant? What are you doing? Well, I missed my kids and, they've took them off me. So, children give me love. Okay, and children are so easily conceived anyway. I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically what she's saying. But that's it. The end children are so easily conceived is genuinely how she ends it. It's just, oh my God. So, like I say, Christy, who had long-term speech issues, the prosecution began a very close relationship with Christy and Danny, but mainly Christy, because he knew that this little girl had seen what had happened that night. She just couldn't say it. And she was obviously very, very scared of her mum, given the fact of her heart rate going up and everything else when her mum had been allowed to come in and visit her. So the prosecutor, should I say, begins having conversations with Christy and getting her to write things down. And eventually she confides in him what actually happened that night. Okay. So at the trial, Christy was well enough to be a witness for the prosecution against her mum, which must have been awful. Absolutely awful. She'd have been, 9 by the time the trial came along. Oh, just so sad. Now, I have mentioned there was a film made on this, and the little girl acting Christy's part in it is, it's heart-wrenching. And obviously it's from what really happened in the trial, so it really hits you. But there was a part that I thought, oh, you've got her. You've got her. Because the one thing that Christy, little girl, claimed while all of this was going on was that there was a song being played that had been playing in the car, and it was actually a song that they all loved, and it's called Hungry Like a Wolf by Duran Duran. Okay. And she says that song was playing the whole time. The whole time this was going on. And then her mum had got out the car, gone to the boot, come round. Sherry had got out, shot her, shot Danny, shot Sherry, and then turned the gun on her. She said this song was playing the whole time. But don't forget, Diane says she took the keys out the car. She'd got out the car. She pretended to throw the keys. She'd come back round. She got back in the car, put the keys back in, and drove off. Now, it was proven at the trial that this particular brand of car, the minute you took the keys out, the music would stop. So that was a major tell in the trial. I remember that. I remember it specifically. And it was just, oh, just so, so sad. And they played that song in the trial. They played it in the courtroom. And do you want to know what Mummy Dearest was doing? She was tapping a pen. She was kind of like bopping. That was the song that was playing when she was trying to murder her children. And there she was, tapping the pen. Oh, God. Okay. Now, Diane, at this point, she's 29. Sorry. While Christy was still on the stand, they out and out says to her, "Who shot you?" And that's the bit I was on about. She says, "My mum." And it's just, it's such a sad thing. I will tell you the name of the film at the end. Now, Diane, when she's now 29, she gives birth to this baby. It's a little girl, and the little girl's given up for adoption. Now, the jury, sorry, I've got myself sidetracked by talking about, I'll mention a little bit more about the little girl who was given up for adoption in a second. The jury came back with a guilty decision. The sentence was life plus 50 years, which I'm very happy with. But she was given 25 years before parole could be offered, which I wasn't too happy with, because she'd have been 54. Thing is that she was still claiming her innocence. And as we know, if you're claiming your innocence, you can't be released. You have to be seen to, have God, where's my brain gone? You've got to be seen to be contrite over your crimes. You can't still be saying, "It wasn't me, I didn't do it. It's this bushy-haired stranger," which she was still saying, okay? So we got Christy and Danny after the trial. The prosecutor and his wife adopt them. They adopt them. He'd worked for so long with Christy and what they'd been through, and Danny. I forget, Danny was only 3. They adopted them, which I just thought, oh, okay. But 3 years later, it's not over. 3 years later, I don't know why my light's gone off. Anyway, 3 years later, in 1987, she escapes. She escapes from the prison, this woman. And she's found 11 days later, shacked up with the husband of a woman she was sharing her cell with. And what she says is, "Oh, I was looking for him. I was looking for the man who'd done this to my children, because yous aren't going to do it anymore, so I've got to prove my innocence." So, of course, they drag her back, add 5 years onto her sentence and put her in maximum security, where she had to go. Now, the film I've been talking about is called Small Sacrifices. Now, it was based on a book. It's got the actress who plays Diane is Farrah Fawcett, and I have heard it said that even Farrah Fawcett, and I got to admit, I think Farrah Fawcett was a great actress. I haven't seen her. I don't know. I shouldn't say was, but I really liked her in quite a few films, especially the more lifetime kind of true story films. She was also in another film called The Burning Bed. And it was said that even she managed to show sort of a semblance of emotion that Diane just never showed. And she didn't. She didn't show anything. She was just, oh, for herself she did. For herself she'd get quite animated, but for the kids, not at all. It always reverted back to her. And when the writer of the, obviously the book came out first, Small Sacrifices, and it was made into a film with Farrah Fawcett. But the author of the book was brought on to the Oprah Winfrey show, and there was like a Zoom with Diane Downs on the TV screen here from the prison. And she's basically like, you've lied about everything. She was like, no, I haven't, because I got everything from you. And she goes, no, you came in to visit me for like 20 minutes. And she goes, yeah, and I was there at your trial. I was there for all of it. I was there when you offered to tell the judge all the sordid details of all the affairs you'd had. I was there when the judge said, no, we don't need to hear that. And I was there when you told us all anyway. Everything, all the information I got was from you. So that backfired, which makes me think that the film itself was more or less, I don't want to say it's 100% factual, because one, I haven't watched it in a very long time, and I've just seen what's that woman being done for it, or she's doing someone on Netflix. I've gone completely off. What's that little donkey? Is it something on Netflix? And it's come out that it was perhaps a lie. So I don't want to say something was true, like a true representation if it's not. I'm just saying that, but I believe it is true, but I'm not going to say it outright because I'm not getting done. I haven't got millions like Netflix, so don't come at me. Anyway, where am I? Then we get to 2008, 2010. Baby Reindeer. Sorry. Baby Reindeer. That's it. What did I say? Little donkey. So we get to 2008, 2010. Her parole's denied because she's still claiming innocence. She's changed her story many times in the many years it's been. She had a hearing in 2020, which, no, I've messed up. Sorry, 2010, she'd have been 55, for goodness sake, when she was turned down. There was another parole hearing supposed to go on in 2020, but I haven't heard anything from that one. Okay? So, my God, I really messed up at the end there, didn't I? But that was the infuriating story of Diane Downs. Ugh, just rotten. Rotten to the core, this woman. Rotten to the absolute core. Oh, I don't know. I can't. What did I call it at the end? Little donkey. But anyway, thank you all for joining me. I really appreciate it. I'm here on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. If you like to join my Patreon, it's patreon.com/JessRose5472. If you'd like to request a story, drop it into my Patreon, or you can just come and join us in the live. That'd be amazing. But thank you all so much for joining me again, and I will see you on Thursday. Thank you. I'm just going to have a chat with the guys in the live for a sec now. Thank you. Oh, God. Where did Little Donkey come from? I don't know what that was. I couldn't think of it. Do you know? Oh, you're welcome, Kelly. I'm so sorry about the end there. Do you know what? Do you know what it was? I went completely off script. Completely off, which I do quite a lot, which I shouldn't do. But sometimes when I get very on a tangent, I lose where I am, and it all just goes horribly wrong, and that's when Little Donkey comes into play. So I'm ever so sorry about that, but I hope I got everything, all the info in that we needed. Oh, I know. Oh, thank you. Oh, I hope I did. I feel like I got thrown off. And I did get thrown off a couple of times between Courtney and Warwick. Thanks, guys. Right at the beginning as well, I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be terrible. This is gonna be so bad. But I don't even think I held it together. I don't even think I did. Look, I look like I'm a newscaster. And tonight no. Anyway, but no, I hope I did it okay. I hope I did it all right for you. Isn't Little Donkey an oxymoron? For what? Like a big ass? Is that what that would be? No. So oxymoron's kind of, isn't it sort of a different way of saying something? I'm not explaining it properly. Little Donkey, but Jess is halfway there. Why am I halfway there? Just stop it now. Just stop it. You should be hanging your head in shame after putting me off so much. You shouldn't still be cracking jokes. Honestly, look at me. I'm all over the shop. Was that Kelly? Did I miss? I hope I didn't miss anything. I hope I didn't. I included everything. I didn't. How do I explain this? I wanted to talk about her previous. Oh, made an ass myself. Okay, only at the end. Stop it. Oh, okay, Kelly. No, what I was trying to say then was there's so much of her just talking about herself. I lost my mind looking at this one. I was just so, this woman's crazy. This woman's actually crazy. And I couldn't quote any more of that because she's just, you always calls me that. Why? Oh, I'm so sorry, guys. It's a family. It's not a family joke. It's supposed to be a joke. You will have Inspector Dumb and Dumber come before you. I know I will. I know you do. I know. I didn't. Oh God. Thanks, Warwick. I know. That's why I'm saying. It's not that I've missed it out or that I'm not. I didn't know. It's just that you need to go and have a look. I haven't missed anything with relation to the story. I'm just on about the interviews that she did. And although I swept over them, I'm never living that down. I'm never. I just feel like she's just had so much attention already. I just felt physically sick doing this one. I'm going to be honest, physically sick. Just really, really sad. Just really, really sad. And the fact that she did it because a man told her. And I'll be honest, I think he said her kids because he thought that was an immutable, not characteristic as such, but it was something that would never change in her life. So that was a perfect excuse for him. Look, I don't really want kids, so what are you going to do? That's what I think where he was coming at it from. I don't think he ever thought that was going to be the conclusion of it. Oh, God. It is always worse. It is. I think that's why it just, even as I was telling the story and obviously I know the case, I knew it was her, but I just wanted to come at it from the point of view of what she'd come up with first, and to tell that bit first. But even as I was doing it, I was like, it was insincere because I know I'm lying. I know I'm lying, I know she was lying, I know everything, but I wanted to do it obviously in order of how it had come out, of how it had happened. But it was just, oh God, it's just sickening, absolutely sickening. Like you say, when it's the mum, and especially, you know, it's bad when it's the mum when there's a dad or a stepdad involved and they've just sat there and let something bad happen. That's bad enough. But when it's the actual mum behind it on her own, like no one else involved, that's just a that yeah, it's a ugh, yeah, awful. But yes, that was, have I already said that? It's the infuriating story of Diane Downs. But yes, so next week I'll do Hayley's asked for one, the Judith Barcy story, I think. Another older one, but just as awful. Just as awful. Awful story. But yeah, so what have you been doing in the comments anyway? Because I was trying to just phase you out after a while. Did we have any visitors? Just out of curiosity. Or not? Did we have any? Because I mentioned that at the beginning. That's what I... Yeah, exactly, Warwick. It's just not... It's... We're not supposed to be made that way. We're supposed to be automatically maternal. You know. Yeah, not a chance. Absolutely never in life is that happening. Never in life am I uttering that word again. Oh my God. I know Warwick knows. Does Courtney know the stick that happened this weekend over that? Courtney, if you haven't, go into Gypsy Rose part 1 and 2. Mainly 2. Go into the comments. Oh, that was quick as wow. I was about to... what stopped me was I know I've got no one of that name in watching. That was good. That was very good. Do you know, I'm surprised that they didn't pop in. I even just out of curiosity, I'm surprised they didn't pop in. Because they went to town at the weekend, so I'm surprised. I am really surprised. Do you know what I had to do today? It was just, yeah, I don't understand what happened. I mean, going to the Gypsy Rose story I did, part 1 and 2, but go into part 2 and go into the comments. Just go in. They'll tell you everything you need to say. Oh, hi! How you doing? Did you see that I'd mentioned the thing that you asked for? My God, this fan it's no good. Is it as noisy as I think it is? I think you've already said, haven't you? Why didn't you come in and say hi? I'd asked a couple of times if you were in. You should always pop in and say hi. Told you they're a good bunch. Oh, that's good. Die away. Yes. Are you Steph? I wasn't sure because there's Steph and there was oh goodness me. Is it Chloe? I think it's Chloe, isn't it? So I wasn't sure which one you was. But yes, Courtney, yes. Claire, sorry, not Chloe, Claire, yes. There was a bit of back and forth in the comments, but it was all resolved at the end. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. And look, listen, I'm going to leave it there. I really am. But Angel, thank you so much or Steph, thank you so much for joining. And just, if you're here on Thursday, just pop in. Just pop in. Just pop in and say hi. They're a good bunch. Was you irrelevant? I didn't know you were irrelevant as well. But did we all make friends at the end? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But we discussed that though. We did discuss that, didn't we? We did discuss that. I'm gonna go. Oh, good. Yeah, come on Thursday. Thursday I'll just be doing, it won't be a request night. It'll be like a story I want to do and I'll bring to you. I always try to bring one that no one's heard of. You might have, but and normally one person in the comments has heard of it, but I do try. I do really try. But yeah, on that note, I'm going to call it a night. That's what I'm going to do. I don't. Oh, God. Yeah. Okay. Right. Angel, are you Steph or Claire? Can you just tell me which one you are? Just so I just want to say something really quickly before the end. If that's okay. Just let me know which one you are. No, I'm not taking them back. If you are still there... Stephanie is your daughter. Right, okay. Right, Claire. Okay. All I'm going to say is, obviously, you can see there's a couple of people in the comments that you might have had a chat with on Saturday, all right? It got a little bit heated in there. Now, what I will say is the people in the comments have been subscribers of mine from the very, very beginning, from 2019. We're going back 5 years. They've been, they're here twice a week on the lives for like an hour and a half at each time. So no, I'm not doing that. But they are, and that's why I think it might have been, it should. Okay, that's good. Because yeah, I think there might have been a clash and on Saturday and Sunday. But they're a really funny bunch. They're a good bunch, and I promise, as long as you don't take things too seriously, honestly, you'll have a good. They're a good bunch in the comments. I promise, they really are. We don't like outsiders. What is that? We don't like outsiders. What is that, Courtney? Yeah, that's what I mean. They banter a lot. You know, they really, really do. And there's no harm meant of it. And they are very protective of me. They are. Yes, it is Green Street. Yes, it is. We don't look. That's what I was doing. But yeah, they like I say, they've been with me for years. So I think they understand how much. Oh, no, I didn't. I think they understand how much time I put into the stories, and yeah, they will get a bit protective. They are, and they're a really good bunch. But you are more than welcome. Come back Thursday, fresh slate, and just come in from the beginning. Come in. with the headbutt. Come in from the beginning. Just say hello if you're there. Don't sit in the background. Come in and say hello, and I promise you'll be fine. I promise. So yeah. On that note, I'm going to go. But you do have to have a very good sense of humour and a very thick skin. I'll just let you know that. Just throwing that out there. Very thick skin. But they're a good bunch. So on that note, I'm going to let you all go. And I'll see you all on Thursday at 8 p.m. And say it again. Bother. Bother. It's one of my favourite films. That's the only reason I'm saying it. Thank you, Susan. Excellent. Okay then, well, lovely. Hopefully you'll come back. Hopefully we haven't scared you off too much. Because, yeah, they're a good bunch. I'm not too bad. I promise. So, yeah. All right then. I'm going to do my jingle. Actually, have you ever seen my jingle? Have you ever stayed for my jingle? You can't miss that. You can't miss the jingle. The jingle is just another level. So, if you, afterwards, if you could pop a comment in the, on the story afterwards and pop a like in, I'd really appreciate it. Or you could just look, comment and subscribe, guys. Look, comment and subscribe. Look, comment and subscribe. Did I always be that angry when I was doing it? Have I always been that way? I need to look back. Look, comment and subscribe, guys. So thank you to Tiffany and Hayley, my moderator extraordinaires, and Warwick and Kelly and Courtney, and Angel, and I think that's it. Is that it? I know my mum was in earlier. I've done Hayley, haven't I? Yes, of course I did. So thank you all so much. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you all. I know it's sweat, Warwick. It's sweat. It is. And I know Tiffany always gets mad at me because you can't see it on the camera really, but I can see it, and it's just, look, I've got the fan, and I'm going to die later when I'm re-watching it because you're going to hear it on the mic. I know I've already been told you can hear it, but it's just... Anyway, I'm going to go, and I'll see you all on Thursday. Not too sure which story I'm bringing to you, but it'll be hopefully one you don't know. So have a lovely couple of days, and I'll see you all on Thursday. Take care. Look, comment and subscribe, guys. Oh, my finger's in the way. Look, comment and subscribe, guys.